Hi there, I want to do a quick video, I always say that, on what it's like when you have a spiritual awakening. And this idea I just thought of at the moment. And basically it's like how I'll just throw a little idea at you of what it's like. And what you become is you become this magnet, and your spiritual awakening affects everything. Ultimately, in a good way, because you've become this awakening, and everybody's watching you, and they're thinking, "Wow, they're affected by it." And it's a bit like, what I notice is there's lots of positivity, but sometimes people don't want to see. Because if you're had a spiritual awakening, you're throwing all these reflections at people, and it helps people ascend. And the way it's like is, imagine it's a roasting hot day outside, and imagine you're having a party, and there's all different people at the party, all different types of personalities, and you have had a spiritual awakening, so you're like the sun of this party. You're the sunshine. You're bringing the amazing day to this party. But because all these different people are having different, it's affecting this sun that you've become, is affecting all the different people at the party. They're all getting affected. Some of them are liking it. Some people are, it's a bit powerful for them. Some of them don't like the heat. But ultimately, you're affecting everything. And that is an idea that I had just now about what it's like when you have a spiritual awakening. It changes everything, because one person is basically an endless power. Everything is like one endless self. So one change with one person, especially with people around you, you notice it, in a good way. In a good way, ultimately, because it's helping them ascend too. But that's what it's like. It's like you've become, and this idea is new, brand new. It's just maybe about a few minutes old. The divine consciousness threw it me. But again, what I'll say about divine consciousness is, I'm not hearing voices. What it is. It's like the Rumi quote. It's a word. It's a voice. Sorry, that doesn't use words. It's not words or someone talking to you. It's vibrational, and you become very sensitive to that. So that's what the divine consciousness is. But yeah, that's what it's like when you have an awakening. That's what it is to me, and what I've noticed. Because I've noticed, I notice everything, because I'm hugely sensitive, and as I progressed on this path, the deeper within you're going, and the more you're healing, the more sensitive you're becoming. That's why people get energies. The more deeper you go, you're entering the divine part that's deep within you. And then there's all this limitless power and divine power and energy and all this kind of stuff. And it's within everyone. But that's what it's like. It's like you've become the sun on an amazing day, but it's like a party. But everyone at your party is not going to like the sun. Some people like it, and some people are a bit like, they might not react well to the sun or something. I used to be a bit like that, but I've kind of, over the years, I like the sun now. But yeah, everyone reacts differently, and that's what you've become. A spiritual awakening is, you've returned to what you truly are. You've returned to this endless divine consciousness, this source. And ultimately, people around you, it affects. It's affecting them in a great way. But it will affect people. It will appear like it's affecting them in different ways. That's because you're acting you're reflecting, and you're bringing out all their fears, all their insecurities, all the elements that are unhealed, basically. And that's what you're doing. You're acting as you're reflecting it all back to them. And some people like it, some people are okay with it, and some people might be a little bit like, whoa, that's a bit, it's a bit too much power, it's a bit too much light for them. But ultimately what it's doing is it's bringing out these insecurities, and that's how you heal. You heal through all those problems being brought to the surface, and then that's when the healing process takes place. Once you start to pay attention to this, to your reflections and your unhealed parts, that's when you heal.